So here for scene 5, the journey home after they went through all the obstacles, such as the river and being stuck, encountering the wild animal in the cave and escaping it, and so on. They journey back home in scene 5. So these are some expressive lines, and I wanted to just cover how to emphasize expression in image generation. So, for instance, Leo says in this part, so after the storm passed, they all emerged from the cave. They're relieved and happy. They had faced the challenges together and grown closer. Then we have some expressions here. So Leo, he cheerfully states, "We did it. This was the best adventure ever." So going to Leonardo AI, you want to express that because it'll help. The more expressive they are in the images, the easier the transition when it comes to creating your video will be. So for instance, I already started this process here. And what I did was I stated, going back to the character Leo, essentially what I said was the attached character is raising his hand with a fist in victory, with his teeth smiling, with a forest in the background, sunlight in the sky. So I'm going to generate some more because I'm looking for the perfect one, but I came across a few pretty good ones. So downloaded a few of them already. But as you can see, we want to make the characters expressive. It'll just make the script more meaningful. It'll make the video more fun, more appealing to the viewers. So we have a few pretty good ones here that we can use, and there's a few other ones that we can take a look at. But the point is, when you're prompting Leonardo AI in this case, you want to make sure that the wording is expressive enough and detailed enough that it would give you the intended image. So as you can see here, I'm saying raising his hand. Keywords like that, right? With a fist in victory. So as you can see, he's holding a fist in these images. And then also with his teeth smiling. As you may have noticed in the previous scenes, we were having trouble getting Leo to smile. So I cracked the code, and basically what I said was with his teeth smiling, because the AI can't avoid making him not smile because it has to show his teeth, right? So obviously when a person shows their teeth, 9 out of 10, they're smiling. So with his teeth smiling, with the forest in the background, sunlight in the sky. So here's a few more images that were just generated right now. So a lot of these look really good. We're going to pick the best one ultimately, but I'm just downloading a few of them that would work. So I think there's some pretty good ones here. And in the end, we'll just pick the best one. So that's one expression. Let's try the next expression. So the next expression is Maya. Now here she's smiling and she's saying, "And we made great friends." So we want to show that Maya's happy, she's victorious, and she's achieved a great goal. So the attached character, let's go ahead and attach Maya here. So here we're not going to say that she raised her hand, but we're going to say she has her hands held together with her teeth smiling with a forest in the background. So that kind of shows that she's smiling, her hands are together, and it's expressive of her being cheerful, happy that she made new friends and they've encountered some serious obstacles together. So this is how it came out. It doesn't show her hands together, so we're going to change the wording a little bit. So we're going to say the attached character raises her hands and has her hands held together. So we want to show her hands more in the air because it looks like it was cut off. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so we have her hands in the air. They're not held together, but her hands are up in the air. Fingers look a little weird there. This one might be cool. I mean, her hands are up in the air. She looks happy. So that's a potential. Okay. Don't like that one. No. So you got to be careful with AI. Sometimes the fingers look sloppy. So you want to make sure that you pick appropriate ones, and sometimes you'll have extra fingers like that. Now you can actually fix that in Canva, but just to avoid that hassle, if we don't need to polish in another program, we can avoid it. But in some cases, you might be in a situation where you absolutely have to. In any case, so I want her hands to be held closer together. So we're going to say her hands held close together. So let's see what we got here. So we're going to say the attached character raised her hands and has her hands held close together with her teeth smiling, with the forest in the background, sunlight in the sky. So we just tried this, but we're going to go ahead and try to generate a couple more and see how they come out. So I'm also going to try another prompt, something a little different. We're going to say the attached character raised her hands in the air. So to kind of just show that she's joyful, she has her hands up in the air, glad and happy that she made some new friends. All right, here we are. So again, you want to pick ones that look good, that don't have flaws, major flaws in them. This one looks pretty good. So if there's stuff on the shirt that you want to remove, we can remove that, but the color of the shirt looks appropriate to what we've been using. So you want to maintain character consistency. You want to maintain the same dress as much as possible, make that consistent. So anything you could do to ensure consistency is great. Okay, so I think we captured a few of those that we can use. Let's go back and grab our last one. So here Ben is saying, let's tell everyone about our adventure. So again, here you have Ben excited. So we're also going to make him happy. Okay, so we're going to say the attached character, and this time we're going to place Ben here. So let's grab Ben, who's right here. And we're going to say the attached character. Why don't we say that he jumps in the air with his teeth smiling with a forest in the background. Let's try that and see what happens. All right. And so we got, wow, we sure have him excited. Let's see what we got here. So we have Ben jumping in the air. Don't know who that is in the background. Looks kind of scary there. That one's pretty cool. Looks really happy. Maybe. That's a maybe, so let's download that. All right, so this one, again, another maybe, but I think we get the idea here. So maybe we can do one more of these and generate it. So the attached character jumps in the air with his teeth smiling, with the forest in the background, sunlight in the sky. Let's try it again. Okay, let's see what we get this time. So let's take a look. Hopefully we get something a little better. Almost looks like Wolverine a little bit. So looks super happy there. Very excited. So again, we'll just download a few of these and see what works best. And that should suffice. So in the end, we'll pick the one that's best. All right, so that sort of brings us to the end of developing all the scenes or the images for the scenes. We just need one last one here for the narrator, where he says the three friends returned to the village knowing they could face anything together. Their bond would last a lifetime. So what we want to do is show three friends in a village. We want the narrator to speak over this as well. So I already have images of the narrator speaking behind a village, so I can just go back and use one of the ones that I have for that scene. But let's go ahead and grab something like this. So we're going to say we have three friends are in a village, and we're going to say three young adult friends are in a village. Two of them are males and one is a female. And we're going to try that. We're going to also try and say three young adult friends are in a village. Two of them are males, one is a female, seen from a distance in a forest setting. Okay, so that sets the setting. It doesn't necessarily have to show their face. It can be something like this, and we can adjust it. Or it can even be something like this, showing them that they're returning home. So there's a couple of options here. So you want to just select the one that is most appropriate. We can play around and generate a couple of them and see what comes out best. So after a few attempts, there's a few that I think might work. I think the one that stuck out for me is this one, for instance. Shows Ben taller than the other male figure, and then you have Maya there. You have another figure here, but that can be removed. So that's one option. We can look at other alternatives as well, but ultimately we can decide on the one that makes most sense. So that really brings us to the end of the image generation portion of the course for all of our 5 scenes. Now we're at a point where we can take those images, we can organize them, put them in appropriate folders, and then we can kind of start polishing them in Canva, which I'll show you how to do next. Then afterwards, we'll start with the video generation portion.